It's time to recognize the new normal when it comes to California landscapes and leave those traditional lawns behind for something more sustainable. There are many things you can do to drought-proof your lawn, and installing a rain barrel is one of them. Environmental specialist Jill Santos shows us how.
I know we're in a drought, so most people aren't thinking about rainwater harvesting or rainwater capture. But I wanted to talk to you today about it because even if it isn't raining, you can still capture a little bit of water from condensation off your roof. In fact, for every 1,000 square feet of roof space, a home can collect around 620 gallons for every inch of rainfall. So that adds up to a lot of water that can be used in your garden and your landscape. There's a few points to consider when deciding to install a rain barrel. For instance, the location. You want to make sure that you choose a downspout and a location in your yard that is close to the area that you want to landscape. Also, you want to make sure that that place where you install your rain barrel is relatively level. So when installing your rain barrel, it needs to be installed next to existing downspouts and gutters. If you don't have gutters on your house, you might want to consider installing them. There's a website called bluebook.com that can help you find a licensed contractor. You might want to consider the city codes as well. For instance, in the city of Ventura, you can store up to 360 gallons of rainwater on your property before you need to get a permit. Anything above that is considered a cistern and long-term storage. For instance, these rain barrels are 60 gallons each, and you can get up to 2 barrels with this coupon. So that's about 120 gallons. It's well within the city's limits. If you don't have gutters and you want to know how much it costs to install them, you can go to the City of Ventura's website, cityofventura.net/water/landscape, for a link and information on how much gutters cost to install. It's important to wear safety glasses when you're working with tools and equipment. So let's get started with assembling the barrel. Your rain barrel will come with a number of items inside. This user's guide, which helps you install the barrel, a number of parts, and then I've also laid out the tools that are necessary to install the barrel. So 2 little parts that you'll get are these little gaskets that we're going to insert into these 2 holes. And they're very easy to insert. They're just little rubberized gaskets that will be used for your connection of your hose and your spigot. On the lower one, there's this attachment that you can hook your garden hose to it. It has a cap on it so that it can be shut off when you're not using your garden hose. And the rubberized gasket has a little groove in there so that you can screw this in. The tool will help you screw this in so it's nice and tight. Then you will screw on the cap so that once it starts filling with water, it won't all flow out. And then we just need to install the spigot. Same way. This is a plastic spigot. If you really wanted to upgrade and get a metal spigot, you could do so. You just get the right size fitting that would fit into this hole. And again, it has a shut-off, a cap to it so that it won't leak or lose water when you're not using it. It's important that your rain barrel is actually level when you're installing it. So you want to use a level here to make sure that wherever you're going to drill into your downspout is level with essentially the top of the rain barrel. And then you'll want to mark that location on the downspout and then measure 2 inches below that. The center spot between the 2 lines that you've drawn is where you'll center your drill bit. This is the connection kit diverter. It's the patented device that Bushman designed for these rain barrels. This is really easy to install. It's a flexible piece of rubber that you just need to fit inside the hole that you've just drilled. But what happens is if your rain barrel fills up, it will stop the water from going into your rain barrel, and instead of that rain overflowing in the cases of other rain barrels where it overflows right there at your foundation, it will seep over and go down your downspout like it would normally. Using the 2 screws that are provided, just secure that. The last 2 pieces to install of the connection diverter kit are the hose and this last little gasket that goes in the back hole here. It's interesting to note that this is where, if you're going to have 2 rain barrels and connect them together, this is where you're going to drill another hole. And all the pieces that come with the second rain barrel kit would be used to hook into this rain barrel and hook to the next rain barrel. Turn your rain barrel around so that it's closer to where you're going to hook it in, making sure it's level. So if you were going to get a second rain barrel, this is the spot where you would use the other hole cutter that they provide to make that cut, and the rain barrels will connect to each other. So now your rain barrel is set up and ready to use. Last piece is to put the lid on. Another thing you might want to consider is getting some of these elbows and rain gutter connector kits that you can get at a local supply warehouse. And the reason for this is your rain barrel is going to fill up with water, and that special diverter kit that we installed will allow that water to flow down your downspout normally like how it would. But in many cases in Ventura, we have our downspouts directed right to hardscape, and we're trying to avoid that. So by installing this, and these come in different lengths, instead of having your rainwater then flow onto hardscape, it will now can be redirected into your landscape.
For more information on rain barrel water capture, visit sustainableventura.tv and search rain barrel. Sustainableventura.tv for a better tomorrow.